Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome on back to another video. Today I have another Marvel Rivals concept video for you guys today, but it's based on characters they've been teasing, like in this image that they released for the new season. I'm gonna be going through like character concepts of like characters like Devil Dinosaur right here, even Lockeed, other characters they've been teasing. So make sure y'all subscribe. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers before the year ends, so that'll mean the world to me. But let's get right into this list. So yeah, for the new picture of season 6 now, they have Deadpool here, obviously, and of course Elsa Bloodstone, she's coming later. But it's interesting that they have Devil Dinosaur here, and it got me thinking, like, you know, are they gonna eventually add Devil Dinosaur? I mean, they have a whole design for him already here, and I do see Brood. I don't have Brood in this list today. I don't think they would add Brood. Maybe it's just like a background enemy. If they do add the Brood, maybe the Brood Queen could be cool. And I do see Lockheed, and this is probably hinting at Kitty Pryde, to be honest. But there's also another teaser here, again Devil Dinosaur as well. And then we also have Cosmo, I'm guessing, right here, so maybe he could potentially come. And then we do have a white fox and a black cat as well, and of course Brood again. So they're teasing, maybe there's an animal like season down the road, maybe 1 or 2 animal like seasons down the road. So I do have a couple characters for you guys today of concepts I created. So let's get right into this list. First, I got Black Cat. Now, I did have her as an honorable mention on my Spider-Man villains list, but now they're teasing Black Cat, and it looks like she might come. So look at this concept art, by the way. Amazing concept art. Looks great. Here's another one. I like the way the first one looks better personally, but great nonetheless. But I would want her as a DPS. I debated maybe making her a healer, but I think she would work better as a DPS. So this is what I have for her. Her primary fire could be her claws, Felicia's claws. Rapid claw strikes with extended reach using grappling wires. Bonus damage when striking from above, from behind or above. Successful hits briefly reduce or enemy accuracy. So kind of like that new mechanic. Now get into it, like that Deadpool has for his ultimate, where like if you miss your shots, you get damaged. So something like that, and her first ability will be marks an enemy with misfortune. Enemy movement becomes slightly erratic. Abilities may partially misfire or backfire. Black Cat deals bonus damage, crit damage to marked target. Again, she's kind of gonna be like a Black Panther, but like a more acrobatic version. Maybe not as much divey as him, in my opinion. But her second ability could be Acrobat's Escape. A lightning fast flip dash that drops after image decoys, breaks target, lock, and aim assist. Grants brief invisibility if used near walls or ledges. Right? And then her passive can be every successful dodge or backstab grants stacking evasion and speed. Getting hit resets the stack. Again, she's gonna be like kind of all over the place. Definitely like a slippery character. Probably pretty squishy, if I had to say. Definitely a very mobile character. I think her movement has to be top tier for sure. And then her ultimate could be Black Cat dives through the fight, steals shields, buffs, cooldown charge from enemies she touches, redistributes stolen resources to herself and nearby allies, and leaves her enemies briefly unlucky. So slower reloads, longer cooldown. So basically she's stealing from people. That's what Black Cat does. She steals. She says gimme. So stealing like little things like health and ult charges, stuff like that, could be something unique. We don't have something like that in the game yet. So, and like literally steal, not just copy, like literally steal. So I think she could be a pretty dope character. They are teasing her. Maybe her and White Fox will be in a season together. So let's get right into that. Next, I actually have White Fox. Here she is. Here's a little concept. Pretty dope. And White Fox is a pretty unknown character. I know she has something to do with Luna Snow. So it does make sense that she's coming, you know, because Luna Snow's in here. Here's another photo of her. She looks pretty cool. And there is a little teaser of her already. This is actually Luna Snow's charm with a little accessory that she could have. And it is white. It is a white fox. It's white fox. So this is possibly in the works already. So let's get right into this. Her primary fire. I do have her as a healer as well, just like Luna. Because I think maybe they can have a team together, like a good healing synergy. So I have them both as healers. Maybe they will make her different, but I have them both as healers. So her primary fire could be a continuous fox-spirited tether. Heals the ally it's attached to. If the tether to an enemy drains movement speed and transfers it to nearby allies. And then her first ability could be White Fox empowers an ally, grants bonus evasion and crit chance, heals over time, leaves behind a fox fire trail that buffs teammates who pass through. You know, I'm kind of thinking of this character like a Kiriko from Overwatch 2. If you guys played Overwatch before, I'm kind of thinking of her kind of like a Kiriko. In my opinion, I used to play Kiriko and I love that character, so anything kind of close to that could be dope. Her second ability could be White Fox vanishes and reappears, cleanses debuffs from herself and nearby allies, leaves illusion clones that absorb damage or draw enemy fire. And her passive can be healing an ally who avoids damage for several seconds, amplifies the next heal or buff, rewarding smart positioning and timing. And her ultimate could be White Fox reveals her full nine-tailed form, summons spirit foxes that orbit allies, healing and blocking damage. Enemies suffer confusion effects, allies gain boosted speed and evasion and cooldown reduction. So like I said, almost like the Kiriko ult, where they stand in her path, they're just buffed and healed like crazy, something like that. And of course, to play on the fact that she turns into a nine-tailed fox could be really cool. So let me know what you guys think on Black Cat and White Fox. Maybe they go together in a season. But let's keep this list moving. Next I got Devil Dinosaur. I would love Devil Dinosaur in this game, and I do have him paired up with someone. I think y'all know who that is, who Devil Dinosaur is always with. But I think they can go together in a season as well. But of course, I mean, they've been teasing Devil Dinosaur in a lot of the trailers and stuff. I think eventually Devil Dinosaur can come to the game. A big giant dinosaur tank could be really dope in a game like this and pretty unique. I think it's awesome if they include like more animalistic characters like this. I mean, that would be sick. Like a freaking T-Rex. How could you not love that? That's awesome. But yeah, obviously I want him as a tank, right? So his primary fire would just be him wide sweeping bites and tail swings, hits multiple enemies. Each hit builds intimidation, lowering enemy damage output instead of boosting his own. So he's a T-Rex. He's gonna be swinging his tail around and chomping. You know what I mean? So his first ability could be Devil Dinosaur barrels forward and knocks enemies aside. Leaves cracked ground that slows enemies and grants damage resistance to allies standing on it. And his second ability could be Devil Dinosaur roars and guards a targeted ally. Redirects a portion of damage taken by nearby allies to himself. Gains increased armor and crowd control resistance while guarding. And his passive can be enemies near Devil Dinosaur suffer reduced accuracy and slower reloads due to the fear and pressure. I think the fear factor of a dinosaur being on the battlefield can do something in his gameplay. I think you could do something with that. And then his ultimate can be just Devil Dinosaur goes full Apex mode. Massive health and size increase, constant fear pulses forcing enemies to back up, allies near him gain armor and immunity to knockback. So the whole team can't get knocked out, just like the Hulk ult, but he does it for his whole team, and I think that would be a really sick ult, especially for a tank like Devil Dinosaur. I think a character like this could be super cool, super unique. Let me know what you guys think. Next we got, of course, Moon Girl. Moon Girl is Devil Dinosaur. They go together. You know, they're 1-1. They're Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They're always together. They have a whole show together. If they do end up adding Devil Dinosaur, I bet you they add Moon Girl in the same season. Like, these two go together, like Gambit and Rogue, literally. So maybe this is a character concept of them being together in the same character. I think they will do them as separate characters. I think she could be a healer and Devil Dinosaur could be a tank, something interesting like that. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, let's get right into this. I do have her as a healer. So her primary fire will be a wrist-mounted energy tether that heals allies over time, boosts ability recharge to the longer the link stays active, overheats if mindlessly hold it. So you gotta be kind of smart with it. And then, because Moon Girl's a smart character, you know, you don't want to just make her not like a dumbass character, you know. So her first ability can be deploys a smart drone, burst heals and allies under heavy fire, grants temporary shields that scale with how low their HP was. So a clutch save button. So she's gonna have drones kind of like an Ultron, because she's a techie character, she's a scientific character. That's kind of what she is, based off my knowledge. And then her second ability could be Moon Girl throws down a holographic projector, highlights enemies for allies, grants allies inside increased accuracy and crit chance, converts enemy damage taken into small healing pulses. So like little gadgets to like buffer enemies, you know, typical stuff healer can do. And then her passive could be every successful assist or save increases Moon Girl's tactical charge, empowering her next heal, shield, or beacon. And then her ultimate, you know, I kind of wanted to include Devil Dinosaur in it because, you know, they're always together. So if Devil Dinosaur is on the team, it will just be Devil Dinosaur. Like, you guys can link your ultimates up, kind of like Jeff and Storm. But if not, it could be a hologram of him, and I have it right here. Moon Girl activates full battlefield coordination. Devil Dinosaur, or a holo version if he's not present, stomps through the map, drawing aggro, massive team-wide healing, and shields. Allies gain damage resistance and cooldown reduction. I think that could be really dope. A team up with Devil Dinosaur, something crazy like that. It's offensive and defensive. I think that could be really strong, honestly. Like, kind of like the Jeff Storm team up, something like overpowered almost in a way. Like, anytime that goes off, you know you're cooked. Let me know what you guys think, but let's keep this list moving. Next I got Lockeed. Now, okay, I doubt they actually add Lockeed, but I'm only including Lockeed on this list because he is here. But like I said, it's probably a tease to Kitty Pryde, and I did include Kitty Pryde on my prediction list for 2026, so that might be one I get right. But maybe they can include Lockeed into Kitty Pryde's kit. But I do have a concept here if they just did Lockeed and maybe they did Kitty Pryde by herself and Lockeed together in a season. So this is kind of like a maybe, but I did do a Kitty Pryde concept on my prediction list if you guys want to check out that video. But yeah, let's get right into this. I think Kitty Pryde could also be like really dope because hiding, phasing in a wall, healing people, I think that could be dope. But let's get into Lockeed. He's a little dragon, you know, and I want him as a DPS, you know. Maybe he could have worked as a healer and, you know, throwing fireballs, healing people, but I want him as a DPS. His primary fire is going to be short range plasma blast fired in quick arcs. Shots curve slightly toward enemies, hitting the same target repeatedly, builds and burns stock. And then his first ability could be phase blink. Lockeed instantly teleports or short distance, leaves behind a decoy flame that explodes after a delay. Can be chained mid-air for unpredictable movement. And then his second ability could be Lockeed rockets downward, deals bonus damage from above, knocks enemies into the air, recharges faster if he lands a finishing blow. And his utility, his passive, can be Lockeed gains bonus speed and damage when enemies miss attacks near him, rewarding evasive play. Okay, he's just a dragon in the air doing crazy shit. And then his ultimate could be Lockeed unleashes full alien dragon energy, rapid teleport dashes between enemies, continuous plasma breath, and enemies hits take increasing damage the longer the rampage lasts. So kind of just like a crazy dragon being a nuisance in the sky all over the map. Like I said, they are teasing him, but I'm pretty sure this is more teaser for Kitty Pride. That's why I have her here as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Maybe they do add like I said, maybe they're doing a animalistic type of season. Who knows? But I do have one more, and this one was teased a little bit ago. Kingpin. Yeah, this is official Marvel Rivals art. They have the design for Kingpin. They do have Fist Tower on the New York map. It makes sense. I think Kingpin maybe does it come eventually. Maybe he comes with Black Cat. It would make sense. 2 Spider-Man villains. But who knows what he comes with. But let's get right into him. Obviously, I have him as a tank. All right, so his primary fire can be brutal hand-to-hand, heavy punches, and grapples. Each hit slows enemies. Repeated hits increase stagger instead of damage. So I know this isn't a fighting game, but I think he could be like a grappler type of character. He's just so big and beefy, and that's what Wilson Fisk is, right? That's what Kingpin is. So yeah, something like a grappler type of archetype, but in a hero shooter, obviously, I think can be unique and cool. And then his first ability could be Kingpin grabs an enemy and slams them into the terrain or at other enemies. Creates shockwave that displaces nearby foes. Grab enemy briefly takes reduced incoming damage. Second ability could be Kingpin calls in 2 henchmen from off screen. Henchmen block shots, shove enemies, and physically occupy space. If defeated, they explode into a smoke cloud that breaks enemies' slightness. Henchmen automatically prioritize protecting Kingpin and nearby allies. Like I said, you know, Kingpin, he's known for having a bunch of goons and henchmen by his side, and incorporating that in his kit can be really cool, right? So, and then his passive can be the more allies and henchmen near Kingpin, the more damage resistance and CC reduction he gains. So, like I said, incorporating henchmen into his kit, something like that, because he's a mob boss at the end of the day. I think that makes sense for his character. I think it could be unique and cool. And then his ultimate can be Kingpin fully takes control of the area, summons elite henchmen with shields and stun batons. Allies gain armor and CC immunity. Enemy HUD elements flicker and movement feels crowded due to pressure. I think that's crazy. Like, again, with the henchmen in the ult could be crazy. Some AoE stuff probably. Yeah, honestly, I think I cooked with this one. I think he does come eventually. I think all these characters maybe do come, maybe except for Lockeed. I'm thinking that's Kitty Pride, like I said. But let me know what you guys think. Let's recap real quick. All right, so we got Black Cat. Been teased with the little Deadpool picture and the White Fox. We got White Fox. We got Devil Dinosaur. I would love this one. Moon Girl. Yes, sir. Lockeed, probably Kitty Pride, and Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers. If you guys can please subscribe and help me reach that goal, that would mean the world. Make sure to leave a like. Thank you for watching. Peace.